for Sean Mackey to strike! It's Calvin Miller against McGowan. Miller sends it in! It's Miller time, baby! Champions again! Falkirk have broken through the glass ceiling! After 15 years in the wilderness, Falkirk Football Club is once again a Premiership club!
This is Falkirk Daft.
With Behind the Wall, we're navy blue, are you?
Shh. Messi wears Connor Allan pyjamas. Pass it on. What a goal. We will talk about that and much more as we discuss the victory over Dundee at the Falkirk Stadium. And it's our 150th episode. Welcome to Falkirk Daft. I am John McCaffery, joined as ever by the Ginger God of Pod, the one-man band in the main stand. It is Ross Wayne.
Good evening, Mr. McCaffery. I am still, in the words of Stevie Bevan, buzzing like an old fridge.
Honestly, it like how I was just waiting. You know, when you got at the stadium yesterday, you're just waiting for that first glimpse. And shout out to anything Falkirk. I think they got it up really, really quickly, that goal, onto Twitter and social media. So shout out to the guys at Anything Falkirk for getting that done. And then they put it to the Messi commentary. Unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, we'll share it on our socials. What a goal. Obviously, we're going to get into the match and discuss it in much further. I'm just lost for words. I can't even get my words out. I'm just like,
it was special. It was a special goal.
Unbelievable. Which leaves we'll have this discussion a bit later on. What is the greatest goal scored at the stadium? We're going to discuss that a bit later on because everyone has their opinions, and that is certainly up there as one. How are you, Ross?
I'm good. Yeah, I loved yesterday. Not just the result, but it was fantastic in the lounge, pre and post match as well, wasn't it? Like there was a really good buzz in the lounge. A few well-kent Bairns faces in there as well, and just absolute cheese. And like you said, eventually when I got home last night, it was just brilliant to start watching all the stuff that was on social media.
No, absolutely. And who knew we'd get to 150 episodes of Falkirk Daft? Jesus, not me.
But it is really fantastic that we have, and we don't take it for granted either. Like we absolutely adore the fact that so many people watch it or listen to it, and it's why we keep doing it as well. Apart of that and the armband, that's why we do it. We do it.
Absolutely. So no, but listen, I can't believe we got to 150 episodes. Here's to 150 more, and hopefully there are 150 in the Premier League as well as the quest to stay up continues. And you know what? And I had a look there, and at one we were up at. Am I right in saying we were fourth yesterday?
We were fourth yesterday. We're now down to sixth just due to today's results, though. Yeah.
But then I was like, Dundee, how are Dundee United suddenly above us? And I couldn't work it out. Anyway, there'll be something I'm missing. I went out to the table there, but yeah, obviously Rangers getting the result has put us down to 6 now as well. Incredible day yesterday, and we'll get into the game in just a bit. But let's head directly into birthday corner straight away, and a few birthdays. We had loads last week, Ross, when you were off. But let's kick off with a happy birthday to Denon Adam, who's 18 on the 24th of October. That's love from your dad.
Lovely. We did put this on socials yesterday as well, but happy birthday to Chris McGill.
Big time.
Legend, Kitman, and his birthday was yesterday. I do believe his mum's not keeping too well, so best wishes heading out there to his mum.
Poor Chris had to work on his birthday as well. By the way, questions for Chris McGill, and I would like an answer to this. The game's gone, Ross. The game is gone. I saw the Bolgin out with hot water bottles for the first team and the subs on the bench, kicking about with hot water bottles. Game's gone. The tartan, they were in little tartan kind of pillows as well. So for me, the game's gone. Explain yourself, please, Chris McGill, and the Falkirk subs as well. Shocking behaviour. But I hope your mum gets well, mate. Happy birthday to John Thompson. His birthday was on the 22nd of October. Face.
He is indeed, yeah. Good pal of ours as well. And also happy 18th birthday to Rebecca Smiley from Mum, Dad, and Bella the dog. Never forget the dog.
I'll never forget the dog. That if you do put a birthday on Falkirk Daft, you need to remember the dog or the cat. Listen, I'll accept gerbils and hamsters as well, but let's get that happening. When you put a birthday in, please mention the dog or pet. That would be great. Let's head to the F factor now. Ross, you're going to have to help me out in here, and I'll explain for why. I have been without broadband in Larbert for the last 3 days. Now, I'm sure people in the Kinnaird area who have got Sky broadband are feeling my pain of two teenage children without the internet available to them. So I'm currently recording this with hooking up at a hotspot off my phone, so hopefully it works all right. Because I've got a funny feeling it might go tits up at some point. But yes, we've got the F factor, and do you have the entries there?
I do indeed. So hopefully people can hear these. So the first one we got sent in, it was from Fraser Snedden. Now Fraser did contribute last time we did the F Factor as well. Unfortunately, didn't make the top three. But he's hoping that this one is going to be there for him. So I'll play this now. Hopefully you can hear it.
Hi guys, here's my suggestion for a song for the F Factor. As is for your Christmas party, I thought, why not try a Mariah Carey song? So Here we go. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the Rangers, Kelly, Livy or Dundee. I just want the Bairns to score more than you could ever know. Fuck the Celtic too. Just 3 points for Falkirk will do.
That's pretty special. That's pretty special
from Fraser. As we explained, we did this last year. The top three are going to go through to the final at Falkirk Daft Live, November 29th at Behind the Wall. Tickets still available and in the link below. Only limited left. We've been saying limited for the last couple of weeks. There's about 20 left now. So get your tickets for Falkirk Daft Live, and you can witness, hopefully, Fraser taking to the stage and doing that live. We've got another one.
That's true. We do. So Jackson, this came in late last night. So this came from Jackson Godfrey. It does take a little bit getting into it.
Right.
But,
okay. He's clearly come late last night, so he's been steaming when he does it as well. So let's go for it.
Can't comment. Yeah. So it does take a bit getting into, but you'll see why.
Call him keeper. Call him number one. Call him Scott Bain. I know what I want, and I want it now. I want you, 'cause you're Scott Bain. I know what I want, and I want it now. I want you, 'cause you're Scott Bain.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. I'm just going to a little criticism. I would go with just Mr. Bain. Like, try and fit Scott, something about goalkeeper in amongst it, and go for Mr. Bain, because I think it would work better then. But I do like it. I did see as well, the bold Gordon Hall, who runs Pints and Prints t-shirts, he had put something very similar to the song of Mr. Vain, You're So Vain by Carly Simon, about Scott Bain.
I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that one as well. That's a good shout.
So yeah, I want to hear that in musical form, please, Gordon, if you're listening to this podcast, and get that in for the F Factor. But two good entries. Get your F Factor entries in. You'll get free tickets for Falkirk Daft and the chance to perform on the stage at Behind the Wall. Get them in. Slide into our DMs on Twitter or Facebook. We'd love to hear them. Off to a good start though, Ross.
That's good. I'm liking both of those efforts.
You've got a month to go to get your entries in for the F Factor. And before we move away from birthday corner as well, and F Factor, a couple of birthdays from a Falkirk perspective. Mark Roberts, was he great? Fair to say, as a striker.
Do you know, he scored a few for us, but yeah, he scored a few for us. He wasn't like a hot shot, but good wee tidy player in the late 90s.
Yeah, 29th of October's Mark, he's turning 50. The bold Joe McKee, it's only 33. I think he was at Dumbarton the last time I saw.
That's what I recall as well. I don't know if he's still kicking about or kicking a ball for that matter, but Yeah, he did okay for us. Obviously, I remember a couple of belting free kicks.
It was one against Dundee United, wasn't he? He scored that
Playoff, I
in the
think.
playoff. Yeah, it was an
Yeah,
absolute cracker. Joe McKee scored.
it
Decent.
was.
I quite like Joe McKee, I have to say. But yeah, happy birthday, Joe. And the one and only Scott Arfield, the bold age of 38. There you are, Scotty. Happy birthday, Scotty, on November the 1st. So there you go. Wish Scotty a happy birthday on 38 years old and he's still kicking a ball. Some boy. And he doesn't, I know his kind of game time's a bit limited and the legs probably aren't there what they used to be, but we all know when Scott Arfield comes on the pitch what he brings
Yeah,
to
exactly.
the team. And, he just brings absolute class. So happy birthday, Scotty, on the 1st of November. And Paul Smith turning 63 on the 2nd November as well, our assistant manager, Paul Smith, 63 on the 2nd. So happy birthday, Paul, as well.
Indeed. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Paul.
I'm sure John will buy him some clobber, like
It's new gear.
get Paul on the kind of McGlynn glow up operation. Because I saw yesterday he was wearing the wee quarter zip, 3/4 zip, whatever he's kicking about in now. Wee Falkirk training kind of bomber jacket yesterday. I quite liked
Oh,
that.
yeah. The black and the gold is nice, isn't it? Yeah, I like that.
I'm sure that'll be available in the club shop soon, but I thought that was quite a nice wee jacket that John was wearing yesterday. So the go up continues with Mr. McGlynn, and I'm sure for Paul's birthday you might get some Stone Island in the post or something like that.
You never know.
From
You
John.
never know.
You never know. Let's get into club news. AGM kind of went off. I mean, there's been nothing major really, or there storms happened at the AGM, Ross. From what I've heard, I read the club news on it, but there's a couple of worrying lines in it. In terms of like fragile, I'll find the exact wording of it with my dodgy internet, but there was just a couple of lines worrying. It just
No, I know the lines you're talking about. I think well, firstly, before you pick out that the couple of lines, I think like what a massive good news story for the football club. Not just in the last financial year, but I know they put up that graphic with since 2022. This is kind of where we've been. So some massive like improvement, like honestly, just off the scale. So everybody who's a fan who plays a part with the FSS, Patreon group, or just general supporter. We've all played our part. It has been phenomenal. Like that, what was it? The 84% increase in the attendances, 258% of the club net worth. So it's huge figures. I think from what you're about to talk about, John, I did read it as well, and I think where they're going with that is they don't want the fans to see some of these numbers and think, wow, right, listen, we're on easy street now. Because what I've taken from it is that, listen, we are, if you think we're year one in the Premiership, so we don't have that years and years of Premiership money behind us. We've got a pitch to pay for. There's rumours around training grounds and stands and everything. So that's what I took from the sort of careful, cautious nature of the finances.
Yeah, I think it's the word fragile which kind of stuck out for me. It said, despite the positive results, the club acknowledges that progress remains fragile. And that was the kind of one word that kind of really stuck out for me in the statement. As noted in the director's report, we are by no means on a sound or long-term sustainable financial footing. Rising costs, including the mandated transition to grass pitch, present short-term financial challenges. These have been partially mitigated through prize money, acceleration and negotiated waivers, but the club still needs to make a significant investment if we are to replace our UEFA-compliant artificial pitch. I'm guessing that significant investment needs to come from the outside. I mean, we'll stress, and the banner was put up by the Ultras, you need to back the FSS. If you're a Falkirk supporter and can afford it, you need to get on board with the FSS because that's the only way forward. And the only way out with that, and we've talked, it's mentioned in the statement about bringing in a direct investor that's going to suit the club. Just reading from the statement, directors discussed their plans to transition to a grass pitch in 2027 and also efforts to attract an investor who would work alongside fans to progress the club on and off the pitch, but not at the cost of selling our birthright on the cheap. So
good, yes, and it's exactly the right way to do about it. So, and listen, there will be Falkirk are a very attractive proposition. for a variety of reasons, whether it's development, property, or just because the football club's on the up. So, but we do need to be careful, as we've seen in the past. And I'm sure, well, in fact, I'm 100% confident behind the people who we have looking after our club now.
Yeah, and it's good to see Keith Gourley obviously staying on as director. Keith's been, really important in managing everything behind the scenes and in the boardroom. So good to see that Keith's staying on and going to be there as well. And we know the guys in the boardroom. They're all Falkirk supporters. They've got Falkirk at their heart, and we're in terms of safe hands with those guys in the boardroom. But yeah, I do think for that next step. And Phil Rollins was actually at the game on Saturday. There, he'd come over from America. I'd be intrigued to find out what discussions were happening in, presumably, meetings are taking place about Phil. I don't know whether that's just to film in and here's their AGM, here it is now, and this is the only available chance had to get up, or if there's a bigger conversation to be had. Who knows? Were they asking, would you sell your shares? Will you put more investment into the club now that we're at this place? Who knows? He was certainly at the game on Saturday, so it'll be interesting to see if anything comes to light through that as well. But yeah, like I say, the ends of statement, we're going in the right to get direction. Together as one. You know how I feel about shitey fucking mantras like that.
I like it.
Get it. Honestly, any football, like, as one and do this pish, let's grow it, all that managerial bullshit. I'm not for it, but listen, it's 100% right.
And it is, and I think if the one I know what you're saying, John, but I think if you look at the last 3 years, what we have achieved though has been because everyone has been pulling in the right direction, the same direction, and the right direction as well.
100%. But no, like you say, I think the next step to progress the club, and like you say, the grass pitch situation, the fourth stand situation.
Training facilities will be needed once the pitch goes down as well.
Exactly. So the next step really is further investment from someone. Hi Tony Bloom. I know you can't invest in it, but we need something like that. Do you know what I mean? We need a Hollywood star. Ross is what we need. We need something like Leonardo DiCaprio or something like that to come in and say, I've always loved Falkirk. Always love that. Or just someone who goes, oh, those kelpies are pretty cool. I know they've got a big wheel there. No, that sounds let's plough the money in and Bo Taylor Swift comes along. That's what we need. We need someone we need that Wrexham story. We need something like that to knock us on. Some mad American celebrity who just goes, I love the Falkirk. The Falkirk are great. What are the Bairns? But yeah, that's needs to be the next step, I think. In terms of the future of the club. But yeah, like I say, together as one, Ross. Together as one. Right, let's have a look at another couple of things that are going on. Junior Bairns is at 460. Sarah Scott grabbed us yesterday saying we need to get to the 500. So we only need 40 more Junior Bairns to get to the 500.
Absolutely. What a tremendous, we talk about it all the time whenever the Junior Bairns come up, but what a tremendous job Sarah and our gang do with the Junior Bairns. You saw the pictures and the video that came out from the training day during the school holidays as well. That looked phenomenal. Sarah is just, since I was an 8 or 9 year old, Sarah has been the Junior Bairns sort of main person, and she does it for the love of the club and to see the fan base grow. So if you have a child or niece, nephew, whatever the case may be, and they're not signed up, for only £10 you can join up and you get a fantastic goodie bag with various exclusive things just for the Junior Bairns, but also you get invited along to the various sessions that they do with the players as well.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah, we can't talk highly enough of Sarah and the work she does. I mean, she's just one of these people that's always been about the club and always been there, like Jean, when you think of the people. And it's just, she really is one of the backbones of Falkirk Football Club. And let's get to 500 for Sarah. Come on. So if you've got a Wayne and they're not signed up to Junior Bairns, get them signed up. My Ailey and my Finley, Finley's Finley's 15 now, so he's probably past it. But
I think 14 might be the cut-off. I think 14
well,
is.
Ailey's just turned 13, so I'm going to see if I can get her signed up for the junior Bairns. And the last game she was at was the Falkirk women's game, and they got beat off St Mirren. But luckily, they're still invincible in the league.
Yeah.
So it was in the League Cup. They got beat 2-0 today. And St Mirren are obviously the tier above Falkirk women as well. So, no, it was disappointing to go to the League Cup, but it's all about the league for the girls. It's all about getting up to the next league and staying unbeaten in that league. So, unlucky girls, and hopefully a win next week would be fantastic. The other thing to talk about and mention is Celtic tickets still remain. All those people that went into the ballot and haven't claimed their ticket, be ashamed of yourself.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. Because there's a lot of Falkirk supporters that didn't get tickets and wanted tickets. So there's clearly, I would suspect this. I guess this is the problem with the ballot, is people setting up. And in fact, they can't, because it's season ticket holders only. So yeah, but it's just disappointing to see that there's some left remaining. I mean, it's during the week. Things change with work and stuff. But I was like,
no, you're right, John. People's plans can change, right? But I did see a couple of people say, "Oh, it was the cost of the ticket." The club put the cost of the ticket up on the notification when the ballot was at. So I don't get that one. But you're right, though, and I saw a few people saying, "Oh, well, when they saw it was sold out, they then went and bought a home end ticket at Celtic Park, or they're booked into hospitality, things like that." So it's not ideal that people are applying for it. So listen, I know the club are always looking at what they do and how they do it. So I'm sure they this year probably is a bit of a let's see how the ballots go, and then does it work? Do we need to tweak it or do we not? And it'll grow.
Point schemes and all that, that's the only other way, isn't it? To set up like a kind of point scheme type thing. But I do think the ballot's the best way to do it. But like when you come to situations like this, as we're seeing now, it's not great. But there's only a certain way, and I don't think point scheme's the way ahead. But we'll wait and see what happens. Listen, before we get into the match against Dundee and talk more about Connor Allan, let's mention Behind the Wall, who are our sponsors here on Falkirk Daft. Thank you to Brian and all the team at Behind the Wall. If you are up in the town, it's the only bar to go, and the only place you can get a Falkirk Daft Venom, which is on sale and on the menu. It's on the menu. You can see Falkirk Daft Venom. It's a blue Venom. If you've not tried it before, try it next time you're in Behind the Wall. And the 40th celebrations kick off next weekend, and it's all happening Behind the Wall from Thursday the 31st to Sunday the 2nd. They are celebrating. There's anniversary drinks offers on. I'm hoping they're going to take the prices back to 1986, Ross. That is my hope, that if you go in, you'll get a pint at 1986 prices. Come on, Brian, it makes sense. And then you can get 2 for 1 on chicken between the sheets between Thursday and Sunday as well. Alan Bissett, well-known Falkirk author, he's going to be in Thursday 30th of October doing his show When Billy Met Alistair. I love Alan Bissett. I love his... Have you read any of Alan Bissett's books?
Don't think I have, no.
Definitely do. Boy Racers. It's like we talk about with Brogo, and it's all chat with stuff around the tune. Like the fantastic Adam Sparks set on the old McDonald's in the High Street and stuff like that. And Boy Racers, please, if you are Falkirk, if you come from Falkirk, you love the town, read Alan Bissett's books. He's a Rangers supporter, but we'll let him off. But he's going to be in their hometown show Thursday 30th of October. The Dirty Martinis are playing there Friday 31st of October. Crash Kid and the Drum Room are here on Saturday the 1st of November. And Sunday show, get yourself down Behind the Wall. They've got DJs on all day Sunday with drink offers, like I say. And that should be a rare time down at Behind the Wall for their birthday weekend. 40 years. Wow, 40. I've been drinking Behind the Wall. I won't mention what age, because then they might lose a license. But I have been drinking there since I was 18, Ross. So how long is that?
Officially, I remember going there on my 18th birthday.
I remember having my first pint in Behind the Wall. But God, Jesus, that makes for about 26 years I've been drinking Behind the Wall. Jesus Christ. But there you go. Get yourself down there for the birthday celebration. And do you know what? Why don't we say in the comments below, give us your favourite Behind the Wall memory? Because over the last few years, I think I've had some of my favourite moments in Behind the Wall off the back of winning leagues and stuff like that. It's certainly, you know, the Invincible night, the back-to-back night, the Falkirk Daft live nights which you've done in there have always been incredible. So yeah, give us your favourite memory behind the wall in the comments below. We'll read them out on next week's show. That would be grand. But let's talk more about football now. We're going to do it in the company of a guest pundit who you might know if you've heard the Falkirk Football official podcast. Obviously, we're unofficial because we talk a lot of shite and swear, but he's more sensible than us. He's a knowledge of everything Falkirk. Please welcome to Falkirk Daft, it's Colin Barr.
Have you actually listened to my podcast, John? You're calling it professional. Come on now.
You're far more professional than me and Ross, Colin. Far more professional. We just talk shite and swear a lot. You aren't allowed to do that, obviously, in the official Falkirk Football. You need to be serious, do research. We've got very little research on this podcast. We just talk like, without any research, just off the cuff. You, I'm sure, put hours of endless research, have notes, all that stuff, and we just turn up, really.
Luckily, the club tend to provide me with all the information that I need, which is not too bad.
That's
so
good.
This week's one on the AGM, thankfully, they put out a statement on Friday, so it's not too bad.
That's helped then. That's helped.
Yes.
That would definitely help, because we were just talking about that earlier on, and we did it in our unique Falkirk Daft way, as you can imagine. So yes, are you? What's the phrase, Ross? Together as not together as one. We are all together. What is it?
No, that's together as one. Yeah.
Together as one. You can join Ross's mantra, Colin. Together as one.
Do you know this? Do you remember that episode of Still Game where Winston ends up on the radio and they tell him to just get all these swears out before he goes live? Colin, you can just do what the hell you want tonight, fella. You can literally just say whatever you want. Just it doesn't matter.
Listen, does he want to lose his gig as the official voice of the Falkirk Football Podcast? This is, if he comes on here and starts slating people and swearing.
Oh no, he's not going to slate anyone. Nah. But he can swear away. To
be fair, that was my worry at half-time yesterday, that I may have to slate some people, but I'm so glad now that I don't have to.
That's good. It makes less awkward conversations if you have to meet them. Yeah, me and Ross are fucked up that. Like, anytime, the players come and we've slated them, and we're like, head down. But, aye. Listen, let's get into the game, Colin. We've been on here before. Well, we'll go delve into our random question pot for Colin, because Colin's been on the podcast before. So let's just delve in, and I'll pick out a question at random.
This is my debut, John.
Oh, is this your debut?
I know you've seen me a few times in person, but normally I'm hammered at that point. So now it's the first day I've spoken to you sober.
I can't believe this is your debut, Colin. That is...
He's not a Falkirk Daft live virgin, but he is a Falkirk Daft podcast virgin.
I cannot believe that, Colin. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to pick a question at random for you to answer. Who's your favourite foreign player? And you can't say Russell Latapi.
Oh, that's easy. Colin Samuel.
Oh, Sammy, really? Good shout. So many.
I still keep beside my desk a signed photo.
Oh, that's beautiful.
From Twas and Freeze, so I've still got that. So
is that Junior Bairns thing?
Oh, I don't know. I got it from somewhere that season.
I just noticed the BP, because remember the BP used to sponsor the Junior Bairns.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And I also have my dad's T-shirt from the 2003 season that he met and Yogi and Hassam in the pub. I think the night they won the league. Mm-hmm. So it's sitting in my cupboard, signed by both of them. So I've got two signatures for Sammy. So
amazing. What a shout! What about you, Ross?
That's a great. I know we've talked. Do you know I'll tell you. I don't know if he's my all-time favourite, but he's one of my first foreign loves with Falkirk.
I think I know.
Dragutin Ristich, and I absolutely loved him with a massive porn star tash, and he was just a bit of a legend. Shite player, but he was an enigma. And you still his miss against Dumbarton still comes up in a lot of these what happened next TV programs. And so yeah, I don't know if it was, it's not my whole time, but it's the first thing I think about when I hear foreign Falkirk. What about you?
Yeah, I'm just casting my. I mean, you could go the lone goalkeepers. You could go Krul. You could go Schmeichel. Gerard Daffy's. Arnaud Riera. I think we talked about Arnaud Riera a wee while ago on the podcast. I loved that guy. He was a Rolls Royce of a midfielder. I imagine Arnaud Riera in his pomp in this Falkirk side. Oh, here, that's a good question as well. What player from the past who was maybe would work best in this current Falkirk side. You can make one choice. You can bring someone in from the past. We'll exclude the top three, right? We know that like Crunchy or Latape or Staynord, but you could pick one Falkirk player from the past to join the current squad. Who would that be? Well, listen, again, I'm throwing out a lot this week. Behind the wall memories, and also that question. Put them in the comments below. Check out me turning into a YouTuber. Well, there you go. There's the question for next week.
I like it.
There we go, like that. There we go. Right, okay, let's get into the game, boys. There was 2 changes. The big question, obviously, after the news during the week that Lewis Nielsen was out, was who was going to play in defence. And the answer was Philippe Lisa and Connor Allan. We'll talk about Connor just in a bit, I suspect. But they came in, obviously, for Sam Hart, who dropped out, and obviously Lewis Nielsen, who was injured. Ross, I was quite surprised it was Connor that came in, and it wasn't. I thought he might have started Sam Hart at centre-half after his performance when he came off the bench at Tynecastle. He had a nightmare at Motherwell, let's face it. He had an absolute mare at Motherwell. Whether Philip Lisa had a very good game when he came on. So, is that what you would have went for? Because I was thinking more about Sam Hart at centre-half and Lisa at left-back.
Yeah, that was certainly Lissa. I thought was phenomenal at Motherwell, so I wasn't shocked that he started. He was very, very competent at Motherwell in that second half. A lot of good stuff at Motherwell came through him, and when he came on, so no, I was delighted to see his name there. The centre half situation was up for grabs. So yeah, Sam Hart. I think if you polled 100 Falkirk fans pre-game, they probably, like 98, 99 of them would have said it'll probably be Sam Hart, and there might have been, well, probably Connor Allan's mum or dad would have said Connor Allan. But actually, I'm going to say something. I saw Connor quite a bit in pre-season between the friendlies and the Stirlingshire Cup and the League Cup and stuff, and he was very, very competent regardless whether he was in midfield or in defence. So, with that being the case, I'm not shocked that John went with him, and I'm so glad he did.
And the thing is, with Sam Hart, Colin, I believe he had a fitness test before the match as well. Because I think obviously he had concussion the week before. He went off injured at Motherwell, so I think there was a fitness test. So maybe there was questions over his fitness as well. I don't know.
I think Connor said in his BBC interview that he might have found out the day of the game that he was starting. So it may have been a last minute choice whether to put them in. But as Ross says, I've been impressed every time I've seen him, even when we saw him last year for Kelty in midfield. I think he's a really, really good young player. So I'm not surprised that he came in, but I think it may have been a last minute choice.
And the right choice, as it turns out to be. Dundee, we talked about it in our preview with Jim as well. It was, and we talked about it a couple of weeks ago as well, Ross, that I had said if we could get 4 points out of these 2 games, that'd be huge, and especially the 3 points against Dundee. And it was a massive 3 points yesterday.
Huge. You and I talked about it in the 1876 lounge before the game yesterday when we were previewing the game. These 3 home games feel, and that's not to discount Celtic away by no means, but I think these 3 home games could represent a fantastic opportunity to get some points on the board. We talk about how good our home form is. We talk about how important the home crowd is to the team. All that. So it was a tremendous win yesterday. It's the start of a big few weeks. But Dundee didn't make it easy. I saw a comment, and it'll probably come up in the fans' comments, but Dundee had a particular style, especially in the first half, a very, very low block, probably one of the best low blocks we've seen in a couple since League One days, probably. So it was a tough afternoon up to a point. But then, as we have done, we just get going after half time.
Well, I mean, what is going on, Colin? Like, we are do we just try and make it hard for ourselves? We want a challenge, right? We're going to be shite in the first half, right? We just want a challenge because that's the only way we seem to get points. I saw that Falkirk are the team. I think we're the team that have had the most points from losing possessions at the moment.
9 points now, yeah.
Yeah, we make it hard on ourselves. But I think back to maybe last season, I wanted to check the stats, but I didn't have time. I think we scored a lot of goals last year in the second half as well.
We did.
So I think this is a trait of this team. Unfortunately, in the Premiership, you tend to get punished a bit more for the first half. But certainly, if we can come back to the second half most weeks, that level of performance we put in the last 2 weeks, if we can get that for 60 minutes most weeks, we'll be more than fine this year.
I'll be honest with you, it's not great for the mental health though.
No.
In 2025, mental health is very important, and Falkirk constantly going down 1-0 is not great for the mental health. But
no, I have not enjoyed my half times for a long time.
Exactly. We want to enjoy the pie on the concourse. We want to enjoy our Bovril at half time and have a bit of chat, have a laugh. But at the moment at half time, it's like, Jesus, what are we going to do? Who's going to change at half time? And they need to come out better. And it's been a very angry kind of half time chat as opposed to the nice, relaxing time we used to have.
Do you not think this is all going to change now, though? Because I'm going to paint you a picture. It's half time at Celtic Park on Wednesday. We're 4-0 down. It doesn't matter because we've still got the second half to come. It doesn't matter. We're going to win 5-4.
Absolutely, yeah, no. 100%. I mean, first half, as you said, Ross, Dundee came with a system. Now, it's an ugly system, but it works. You know what I mean? The only time Dundee ever threatened was from long throws and set pieces. Now, we know our downfall and our Achilles heel is set pieces. And the Clark Robertson goal, it was just unforgivable marking. It was just, he's sitting there, like, he scored pretty much the same goal as he did against Celtic the week before. He's just free and he just, it's an easy header for him. And, like, you watch it back, is Hendo at fault? I don't know. But someone's at fault there somewhere. Someone's not doing their job.
I think it's multiple people, and it's a setup overall. Because if you look at the setup, we start and it's a 4v3 on the penalty spot. They've got 4 players against their 3 defenders, and Connor Allan and Calvin Miller are tied up with players. Luke Graham and Robertson, if you watch them, both get free, so they both get clear runs into the box, and it obviously falls to Robertson at near post, which is it's really poor. The other one you might look at is Brad Spencer. He's on the front post, moves off of it, and then Clark Robertson nods into that post. So I think it's not just one person in that. I think, and it's been a problem, as you say, for us for a wee while, is the setup for it just looked wrong. If you're going to give 2 of their centre halves free runs into the box because you're either playing zonally or you've started off outnumbered, I don't like the way that you set up, and we're asking for it on that goal, unfortunately.
It's the zonal thing. I'd honestly just go man for man. Put the 2 big guys and the biggest guys. Honestly, it does. I mean, I've talked about it on this podcast before. Short corners of zonal marking. Now there'll be people that are analysts and stats. Every time we score from a short corner, I get a message from Josh Heggie on FTV saying there's another one. But honestly, see at corners, just put the big boys, the best headers on the team against the best headers on the team, and just work it that way. It's the only way, because that is a total Achilles heel. The throw-ins were, I mean, that it seems to be a way. You even see it in the English Premiership, just long throws into the box. Watch the Sunderland Chelsea highlights last night, and it just causes trouble. You remember when we used to have Andy Gray, and that's going back a bit. We used to do the exact same. Miles Hippolyte had a good long throw in him as well. Will
Vokes, yeah.
Yeah. So we used to utilise it ourselves. We don't have someone in that team, but teams are utilising that a bit more, and it's really hard to deal with. So now we have to concentrate on not giving away corners or free kicks in the final third, and not giving away throw-ins in the final third as well, because it is really our Achilles heel, Ross, I think.
Yeah, we do seem to struggle for set pieces at points. I don't like you. I don't know whether. Listen, John McGlynn knows better than the 3 of us.
I know.
However, we do tend to lose goals for set pieces. So, and I'm sure that's a fact that's not missed them. But it is an infuriating position to be in at times, because, as you said, we do look vulnerable from corners, probably more so than anything else. But Dundee, you had such a low block yesterday that you did worry that should they get their noses in front, how would the rest of the game pan out?
Yeah, I mean, they could have had a penalty as well. At the time, there was a VAR check, obviously, talking about the challenge between Hamilton and Kyrell Wilson. At the time, I thought, at the time, I actually thought Hamilton had went in and they were checking for a red card. That's why I thought, because he went in, what I looked like, from my perspective, went in with kind of studs up, and I thought they were maybe checking for the red card, and that's why the Dundee players were going mental, because they thought the referee was going to flick out a red card, but obviously they were checking for a penalty. And I saw it back on Sports Scene last night, and I was ready to come on this podcast today and say, we got away with one there. But having seen, my brother sent me a super slow-mo replay of the incident from behind it, and Jack Hamilton's went in with his studs up, and that's what the referee's given us the foul. So whatever's happened after that, it's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, So. Sorry, Colin.
I'm like you, behind the goals. When I saw it first time, as I was sitting in the stand, I thought it was a Stonewall penalty. And as you say, the replays all look Stonewall penalty, but seeing that clip as well, it makes you think the referee may have got it slightly right. But it's one of those: is the player coming in with the studs up at fault, or is the guy that kicks the ball me studs at fault? I think this one he's probably a wee bit high, which is what gets him off. But I think 9 times out of 10, to be honest, that would be given as a penalty rather than
God bless VAR.
God bless you. So I'm in the count. That's two this season. 2 for us, 1 against. So the Hibs penalty against Walker against, and then we've got the 2 now from us of the last 2 weeks.
Well, according to Willie Collum, that one against Hibs wasn't a mistake, so you can't put that one down as one going for us or going against us. He's
talking shite. Absolutely 100% was never a penalty. So we're going to. I'm saying it's 2-1, but yeah, that was. I mean, I'm saying it's 2-1, but at that point, if you do look at it, and that's been the referee's decision that he's went in too high with the studs showing, and that's why the yellow card's been obviously dished out. You can't argue with the referee. God bless VAR. God bless Ross Hardy. But then we go in 1-0 down just at half time, so we're safe for that. And as per usual, we're a second half team, and we come out the traps fine. What was the big difference in that second half, do you think, Colin?
It's just energy. I mean, as soon as we came out that second half, we put them under more pressure. We started to move them the ball a bit quicker, and quite quickly their confidence drained. I think it was only 3 minutes in the second half where McCracken gave the ball straight to, I think it was Wilson, and then Miller hits the bar from it. So immediately they noticed the change and their confidence went, and it was just energy and pace. We're playing higher up. They couldn't keep their block. They couldn't keep us from getting through the lines like we were in the first half. And it was just more energy, more intensity, and they couldn't handle us for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean the one that came off the bar, I thought, see if he just curls this, it'd be great. Obviously, it was an error from McCracken, which led to Williams picking up the ball, and then obviously finding Calvin. It was a shame it didn't go in for Calvin. But again, we could go through the first half performance, Ross, and there was so many players on that team that you're just going, I'll be surprised if they come out in the second half. Be surprised if they come out in the second half. Thought Kyrie Wilson was poor. Thought Cal Miller was poor. But they all kind of came into their own in that second half.
They did. There was a few who, as you said, had they not come back out, you would have went, fair play. It's not been a great half for them. But as Colin says, they came out with a bit between their teeth. There was far more energy, far more pace, direction. It was like Motherwell Mark II. That's how I have it in my head. But on this occasion, we had the home crowd there behind us as well, because the crowd at Motherwell were fantastic, trying to soak that ball into the net too. But we had a massive, loud home crowd yesterday, and the team just sort of fed off that. And obviously, when in the build up to the goal, it just felt like constant pressure from Falkirk.
Yeah,
the change that they made the first half, I think, then towards the end of the first half, is that Miller came inside and Williams went outside.
Yeah.
And I think you saw that second half. The second half, that was a much better look for us. I thought we were very good in the left-hand side. And when the goal came, I don't know if Miller would have been in that position that Williams was. It was a brilliant bit of technique from him to blast it back across. So I think that changed towards the end of the first half. It paid out in the second half, really.
Yeah, it was hard from our angle. I actually thought Ethan Williams had put it in straight from our angle, but we didn't see the Clark Robin. It was obviously an own goal. But yeah, I do think, again, you look at I thought Ethan Williams, really settled into his game, as did Calvin Miller. And that's the two I was like, first half. I thought Brad Spencer was probably, in that second half, was one of his best performances in the league so far as well. Dylan Tate, again, did Dylan Tate things and really came into the game as well. In fact, because it was, that's what you need to happen. That the midfield need to start operating, and they certainly did in that second half, Ross.
No, they did. Dylan Tate, as you said, he's like a man possessed at times. He's got the heart, the desire, but he's got such a good football brain in him as well.
Yeah.
Brad Spencer's been again our most consistent player. You see it in all the analytics that get put on social media because there's a lot more of that in the Premiership, isn't there? And he's by far the most consistent midfielder in the Premiership. Actually, I think I saw him and Callum McGregor. So it's just these guys set the tone, and when they're on fire, as the song goes for Brad anyway, it just makes everything happen. And you mentioned Ethan Williams there as well. His first touch every single time is just perfect, and it's different player, different position. But if you remember, going back to Latipi's first touch was always his best thing because he made a bit of space for himself. Ethan Williams does that as well, and it's spot on.
You can tell his class, and you can tell why he's in Man United, probably for that very reason. You know, we were inches away, obviously, with Ross McKeever just kind of sclaffing one and almost getting it hit coming off the post. But you know, from that point on, when we got the goal and we got our head in the game, so to speak, it was all Falkirk. You know, Dundee didn't look like, as I say, we're going to have threatened us anything unless it was a set piece or a throw in. Because we were all in. Scott Bain didn't have much to do aside from pick up bottles of miniatures and whatever else was getting thrown at him. In that half, he had, in the first minute, he had, a save with his leg from Simon Murray. But yeah, he didn't really have that much to do, Colin. From what I can remember, I think he had guarded a couple of shots, maybe.
Yeah, nothing much second half at all. There was a couple of crosses that came in. I think about 75 minutes, they started coming back into the game a bit more. They got a couple of set pieces. But again, we weren't under major pressure. They had a penalty shout in the second half, which I don't think was shown on much of the highlights, where the ball kind of hits off the back of Keelan Adams.
Yeah.
But it looks like it catches his elbow, but he's tucked into his side as well. So I think they got it right with no penalty there.
Certainly the Dundee supporters had a big shout for that, but I thought I didn't see anything in it myself. But I mean, again, we were at the other side of the ground, so probably didn't. But yeah, again, that was only going to be the only way they were going to score, I think. There was some really nice team moves along the way as well. I think Calvin Miller, there was a really nice move where it falls to Calvin Miller, and then kind of Dylan Tate follows it up which the goalkeeper saves. It was just some nice play all around from the team, and it was certainly more Falkirk. And before we get into Connor Allan's goal, I just want to say I think without that goal, he would still been my Falkirk Daft rated player, spoiler alert, of the match, because I thought he was excellent. I really did think he was excellent. I thought Hendel was a bit off it yesterday, certainly with some of his passing. But I did think Connor Allan was excellent. And coming up against someone like Simon Murray and that big bastard that they threw on in the second half, like for a young lad at 20 years old, making your league debut, I thought he had a really impressive performance, Ross, even before the goal.
He was phenomenal. Yeah, he did all the basics right. Cleared his line when he had to, won headers when he had to. He kept his passing really nice and simple as well. I thought Hendel had a good game. I think I know what you're talking about. There was a couple of loose passes in the first half.
I think it's honestly because I hold Hendel at such high standards. I always have him down as a 7 or an 8. I think he just dropped to maybe a 6, and I'm just that for me, because there was wayward passes, and that's not something we're used to seeing from Liam Henderson.
No, that's not like him, to be fair. But I think going back to Connor, he was just he oozed class yesterday, and considering it was his first ever Premiership start. And as Colin said earlier, it sounds like he probably only got a couple hours notice, maybe even if that. So he was almost kind of thrown in at the deep end as such. Lewis Nielsen only got an injury. What was it, Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
Thursday, I think it was. So it's all been a bit whirlwind for him. And as you say, before we even talk about the technique with the goal, he just put in one of those really, really strong performances that you would hope from a centre half, but for a young lad making his debut. Phenomenal.
Thing is, he sensed danger as well. He had a really good walk in the first half from Simon Murray, not long after they scored. So the fact he was sensing danger, and we've lost quite a lot of goals from the right hand side of our defence. People cutting in quite a few times, but that wasn't really an issue this one. And it's maybe the way Dundee played, but I thought Allan was really, really comfortable in that role.
Yeah, because he's not like he came up to the lounge afterwards, and he's not the biggest of boys. Do you know what I mean? He's not like 6 foot, 6'2" or whatever. He's just like you say, Colin, read the game so well. I think that's so important at defending. I don't think sometimes if you can read the game and you've not got the physicality, the height, what have you, if you can read the game as a defender, it's really more important than that sometimes. And I do think he read the game so well. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. Because I think obviously at Celtic Park, I'm pretty sure it's after what we're about to describe, he's going to be a stick on to start in centre half.
I think so as well. I don't think we'll see any defensive changes on Wednesday night. There may potentially be another couple of changes just because it's midweek, and the rest of the team. I'm not overly convinced they'll play this exact same starting 11, just with three games in 7 days. So, but I think the defence. I'd be shocked if I see a change in the defence.
Shout out to Phil Lisa.
Yep.
Every time just to piss off Ross because
please don't stop calling him Phil.
Bastardising his French heritage. But Phil, I thought Lisa was excellent again on that left hand side. I thought he just brings so much energy. I mean, you can tell he's completely right-footed at parts, but I do like the energy that Lisa brings to the team. And yeah, I think he'll be a stick on to start though. I've not heard McCann's injury, Colin. I don't know if you can shed any light on McCann when he's expected to return.
No, I've not heard anything. I know he had a fitness test before or he was close to playing last week, but he's obviously been delayed again, so I don't know what's happened to him.
Yeah, no.
Hope he's back soon. Like, I love Liam McCann. I think he's been the best left back at the club for years. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he's fit. He maybe jumps back in for the Celtic game, but I think he's outstanding. But I think Lisa had a good second half yesterday. I think he struggled a wee bit first half, but second half, I thought it was very good.
Yeah, no, the whole team were. Right, let's talk about the goal. It's been too long. We went without talking. How many times have you watched it today, Ross?
Honestly, too many to know. I didn't keep a tally, but I've watched it from almost every angle, and I include the YouTubers in the North Stand. Just watch their angle back as well. He's such a nice guy, and as you said, we met him in the 1876 lounge post game. He was quite humble about it as well.
Yeah.
And there was a standing ovation, Colin, when he came in, and I don't know if that kind of threw him a little bit as well. And he had such a smile on his face. But I don't think I've seen a better solo goal on that Falkirk Stadium pitch, because it is a solo goal. Yeah, it is. It's him, and I don't think I've seen a better one.
I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute. I did see in sports scene they were saying, "Oh, you wouldn't get that bounce on a grass pitch," because he does get that kind of spinning bounce. But
the spin is because of the contact that's been made between the two players. Like I heard James, and I love James McFadden. I could listen to him all day, but he was saying that last night, and I thought, what pitch are you talking? Yeah. The pitch is not is he saying that you don't get spin on grass?
I know. A bit annoying, but it doesn't matter about the spin. It's everything that came after it. He strides forward. You can see the Dundee player. He's thinking, should I foul him? And then he just keeps going. And at every point of the way, you're shouting either because Arfield was just outside him, and you're just like, pass it to Scotty. No, just going to keep going. Then he keeps going. Then you're just like, all right, okay, he's still going here, right? Shoot now. Then he's went past Luke Graham, and it's like, all right, what's he going to do? Shoot now, shoot. And no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to roll it onto him. I'm going to do a rollover and then I'm going to poke it home. It was just phenomenal. Absolutely unbelievable. But shout out to again anything for Falkirk putting the Messi commentary over the top of it. That goal, if that was scored in any other league across the world, would be shown over and over and over again, because what a goal. If it doesn't get goal of the season, I'll be very surprised. It'll have to be something very special, certainly from a Falkirk perspective, to beat that.
Have you noticed it's trending number one?
Is it really?
Yeah, on Pornhub.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ross. What's Pornhub? I've never heard of it.
Colin knows. Colin knows.
Do you get email updates about what's trending on that, Ross, or are you just constantly looking?
It's probably number one because of me. I just keep watching it.
Colin, you're watching it from the South Stand. Oh, sorry, Ken McAllister stand. I better say that in case my brother comes after me. What was it like seeing it from behind the goals?
Oh, it was outstanding. It was one of those. He's running towards you, and he shapes up to shoot, and he just skins Luke Graham. Luke Graham doesn't know what to do. He goes past him, and then the wee stud roll to put like Clark Robinson on his arse is unbelievable. And the outside of the boot is just phenomenal. Now, because the cameras this year, you can't actually see me, but I've seen one of the YouTubers for the North Stand, and you could just see me and my dad going mental halfway up the Kim McAllister stand, and it is brilliant. It is genuinely one of the best goals I've ever seen because it's a centre half. And he's just skinned two of their defenders. We stud roll, and then just outside of the boot. It's unbelievable. That's genuinely one of the best goals I've seen at that stadium.
Right, and, this is the question we asked earlier on. I keep throwing comments below, but again, what's the best goal you've seen at the Falkirk Stadium? Now, we were talking about this in the group chat. I think there's a couple of contenders. Colin, for you, do you think that what you saw yesterday was the best goal you've seen at the stadium?
Best goal I've ever seen is Luke Leahy against Hibs. Just the technique on the half volley. I love that goal so much. So that's still my number one. But that Connor Allan is probably number two now. It's unbelievable, the confidence. And it's the visual of seeing Clark Robertson on his arse and just outside the boot. Like, it's just so good. So yeah, it's probably close to, probably in the top five anyway.
Okay. Ross?
I think it's my favourite solo goal, and the reason I'm going to say solo goal is when I think about what's my favourite moment with a goal, I'm going to go back to May and Calvin Miller's finish. Like, that was a tremendous move, and like the players all stuck in and got their foot in, and they passed it out to him, and he had that little shimmy, and then he poked it away in the far corner. I think that was my favourite one from a what it meant perspective, but in terms of a solo goal.
Aesthetically,
it's this one. Honestly, I agree with Colin. I think for a centre half, like had it been a forward player doing it, like that's something anyway. But for a centre half, a young lad on his debut, like it doesn't get any better than that. And I think he needs. For me, it's Connor.
Yeah. Did you see the players' reaction that the club posted for the tunnel?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Like, it's unbelievable. Like Nizzy and I think McKeever said best goal I've ever seen.
Aye.
It's just brilliant. Like,
it was incredible. I do think that everyone forgets that Craig McGuffey scored from inside his own half. I think people forget this, and I will constantly be on the bandwagon of reminding people that Craig McGuffey scored from inside his own half. I know it was against Peterhead, and that's probably people discount it, but still, he scored from inside his own half. And
remember the keeper was like halfway out his box as well.
I think it gets overlooked, so I'm just going to keep reminding people Craig McGuffey scored from inside his own half. I think Cole Donaldson's as well. Remember Coles, who was that against in League One as well?
Annan? Are you talking about Annan?
Yeah, he scored against Annan.
That was a peach. That was the one for the sort of right corner.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was a really nice goal.
That was brilliant. Hendel got one against Partick last year as well, didn't he? Which was brilliant. We've had some quality goals, by the way.
Centre halves.
In the McGlynn era, our centre halves are unbelievable.
I know, unbelievable stuff. So, there you go. But the incredible stuff from the team, and then obviously the final whistle came. Dundee up to shenanigans, and we've got to put a shout out for our man. What's Stevie Hogan's official title? Is it head of security? Is it?
No, he's like a safety
operations safety. Like that, yeah. Anyway, Stevie, but he speared the Dundee supporter like Roman Reigns in his pomp. At the end of the match, what a tackle from Stevie Hogan, who was over involved there. I mean, Dundee put out a statement. Fair play to them, because that was ridiculous. I mean, I know Scott Bain left Dundee, went to Celtic, and they were a bit unhappy about that. Scott Bain was giving it the old ears and all that when we scored and everything. And you can understand, because he's obviously been getting a whole load of abuse all match. But yeah, just idiotic behaviour.
Yeah. See, I saw a few of the Dundee fans, their whataboutery about Scott Bain. Oh, Scott Bain was doing this, he was giving the fingers. like, I don't want to sound like a school child, but they fucking started that way, giving them all the shite like at the start of the game. Do you know what I mean? Like they did start it if we're going there. But I think going back to Stevie, it's on any other week he would have got Falkirk Daft rated. There's no fucking way he's getting it this week after Connor Allan's goal.
I know. I wonder who's going to get Falkirk Daft rated this week. We'll find out in just a minute. But let's first of all hear from John McGlynn. All right, well, I've just looked on the Falkirk YouTube and the interview's gone. I've definitely watched this earlier on because I gave it a 5-minute answer and it just disappeared from YouTube. I don't know where that's gone to. Maybe John said something really controversial and I don't think he did and the club have taken it down. But John McGlynn's interview post Dundee has gone from YouTube, so there must be something that's gone wrong or someone's just done something wrong. But anyway, let's hear from the man himself then. We don't normally do players, but let's hear from Roy of the Rovers, Cafu in disguise, Messi in his prime. Let's hear from Connor Allan.
Connor, your first league start for Falkirk. A really good win and a really good goal from yourself. How are you feeling? Sum it up for me.
I'm top of the world right now. It was a brilliant day for me. I'm looking forward to many more games, hopefully.
A really good opportunity for you to kind of take a chance and probably not much better way to do it than that.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of big names out. Hopefully we can get them back as soon as possible because we need it for the squad. But I was there today to try and state my claim and hopefully I've done that.
Well, it was a really good performance up until the goal. Are you able to talk us through it?
I'm still not quite sure what happened. It just, the ball kind of fell to me in the halfway line and just kind of opened up for me. Bit of composure and I slotted it in the corner and just trying to celebrate with the fans.
An incredible winner and one that kind of secured back-to-back wins as well for the first time this season. Looking at the league table, it makes some good viewing. How does it feel kind of in the camp just to be in a good little run at the moment?
Yeah, I think the boys have been excellent all season. Obviously coming up from the championship, it's hard, but I feel like throughout every game we've been competitive and the boys have been really good and hopefully we can just keep kicking on. Like back-to-back wins is really hard in this league. Hopefully we can just keep going.
And a really tough challenge next, a wee quick turnaround to Wednesday. We're away to Celtic, but in good spirits after the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. I feel as if we just got to keep this momentum going. We don't really fear anyone. We just hopefully can go there and get some points.
The fans singing your praises at the end as well. How important were they when they made all that noise as well?
I thought the fans were brilliant today. Really just kicked us on that second half. And just kept us pushing, trying to get that goal. I think we were the team that were trying to get that second goal. And I thought they were excellent.
Connor, thank you very much and congratulations.
There we go. So Connor Allan, in the absence of John McGlynn. Where's that interview with John McGlynn going to? I'm definitely sure I saw it. But there you go. I love Adam's underplay of the goal at the start. You scored a really good goal. Come on, Adam. Jesus Christ. I know he's been professional and all that, but it's like he's just, scored like a really good goal is not how you describe what Connor Allan has just done. I'm surprised he could say that. What a fucking goal! I think that's what when he came into the 1876 lounge. I think we said something along those lines, Ross. I think we said please welcome Cafu Allan because he was
We did, and I'm sure we actually used the word "son about porn" in that.
I believe you talked about Pornhub when there was children present, Ross, in the 1876 lounge.
I think I said his goal was pure porn. I'm sure that was the phrase I said. See, two things for his interview, right? Firstly, did you see that bit where he said, we've got some big names out. We need to get them back ASAP for the squad." So he's obviously staking his claim in the centre half position. Love the confidence, love it. The second thing is, someone sent me this today. They said Connor Allan looks like the guy who stood next to Jackie Burns at Hogmanay.
Yes,
and I can't see it.
I did see that as well. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. See it. Yeah, no, I brilliant to hear from Connor. Just a young lad, just Roy the Rover stuff, making your league debut in the Scottish Premier League, and then scoring a goal like that. Incredible stuff. But was a really good goal, though. Really, really good goal. Let's see what you guys had to say about the match yesterday before we get to Falkirk Daft rated and Falkirk Dafty of the week. Brendan McRae. Now, Brendan sent us some sort of poem. I'm sure this is to go with a song, but I don't know what particular song he's going for. But anyway, I'll read it out. His surname is Allan. His first name is Connor. Dundee's defence. Sorry, user goners. He jinks to the right. He jinks to the left. He slots the ball in the bottom left corner. 3 minutes to go. He secured the Navy Blues honour. Frankly, that goal gave me an absolute stoner.
Well played, Brendan. We need Brendan back on the stage at Behind the Wall.
Yeah, he's a former F Factor contestant, is Brendan, so he knows it. He knows how to write a song or two.
He does. Paul Fullerton says the smile from Connor after that amazing goal was priceless, and we are up to fourth, well, sixth now. Any chance we can just halt the league? Amazing second half again from the boys.
Yeah, Hendo says, poor first half but outstanding second. Dundee deserved nothing. An outstanding first home win, and Allan with goal of the season contender. Adams, Tate and Hendo were all excellent. Shout out to Falkirk Daft for hitting 150 episodes. Keep it up, lads. Thank you, Hendo.
Lovely, thank you, Hendo. Grant Prindleleaf says, second halves win games every time. Come on.
Absolutely. Heath says, Connor, Baresi, Allan, that is all.
Friend of the podcast, Elsa Fantini. Dundee, the best low block we've seen since playing in League One. The first half was too slow and not moving them about enough to find space. Poorly defended goal at the corner. However, the second half much better, and you won't see a better goal to win a game. And I hope we see more of Connor now.
Absolutely. Ross says, whatever John McGlynn is saying at half-time, you need to say it before the game. Agreed. Some goal from Allan, an outstanding finish. Come on, ye Bairns.
And finally, Danny Burns, our pal as well. I'm just going to start coming in at half-time, he says.
That's a good shout, honestly. It did, like you say, Ross, we're 4-0 down at half-time. We're like, game, we're fine.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
matter. But, 7 points out of 9 is a phenomenal return the last 3 games. When you look at Rangers at home, Motherwell away, and then Dundee at home. That Dundee game, I specifically think is really, really important for the rest of the season. And like you say, Ross, and certainly looking at Livingston at home, that is huge. We need to get this monkey off our back for Livingston, and
we do. Yeah, that's a goal. But listen, we've got Celtic and Killie first.
A few games ahead of that.
Livy is something we need to sort. But what better way to go into the Killie game than try to get something at Celtic Park on Wednesday night?
No point in talking about Falkirk Daft rated because we know who it is. Everyone agreed, Connor Allan?
With an honourable mention for Stevie Hogan, I think we say
honourable mention. Do you know what? We used to have right. Let's put down on the rated this week. Honourable mention, Stevie Hogan for his Roman Reigns spear on the Dundee supporter. So well done. Stevie used to play rugby, so he knows what he's doing when it comes to tackling. So there you go. He'll be. I think we'll see him down coaching at the Falkirk Rugby Club soon enough. I think Stevie. So well done, Stevie. Honourable mention, and of course it's Connor Allan for the Falkirk Daft rated. And I'm guessing Falkirk Dafty is the knob end Dundee supporters throwing miniatures on the park, try to invade the pitch and get Scott Bain. It's like, come on, guys, Jesus Christ! I know you are down in the big.
I was going to say Carter Robertson because he got booked for screaming in the face of the ref, got put on his arse, and scored their own goal until that boy ran on the pitch at the end and got absolutely wiped out. So for me, it's that boy that ran on who's probably still sitting in a jail somewhere until the court's open tomorrow morning.
He will be.
So he's for me.
Aye, yeah, there you go. That's your Falkirk Dafty of the week. And thank you for your time, Connor. We can just move on now, Ross. We've got nothing else to do here, have we? Let's just move on, because I've got a funny feeling on Falkirk Daft versus Colin's a total stattle, and he's going to wipe the floor, because I'm playing against you this week, Colin. So I'm really hoping, he's going to go for questions, because you've got a few years younger than me. You wouldn't think it. But I'm hoping early.
What are you trying to say, you cheeky bastard?
Oh, he's just dropped the B-bomb there. Look.
Oh, there you go. Falkirk Football Club podcaster Colin Barr from the official Falkirk Football Club just called me a bastard, by the way. Just note that for
I'm looking forward to the next official podcast where one of the board challenges Colin on Sunday saying, and then we'll wait for Colin to go, yeah, cheeky bastard.
Take it down in the minutes. Right, okay. Like, so
Thankfully, on knows I am in control of the edit. So
lots of questions from the mid to late 90s, please, Ross. Thanks very much.
I don't think there's any from the 80s or the 90s this week.
Right, okay.
Sorry, boys. Right, so, Colin, you'll have seen this before. In fact, you definitely have. So, John will write his answer down, and once he has written it down, I will then ask you for your verbal answer, if that's okay. Penalty shootout, fantastic. Penalty shootout style, as we know. So, question number 1 then. So, who is the last player to sign from Celtic to Falkirk, not including Scott Bain? So, who is the last player to sign from Celtic to Falkirk, not including Scott Bain?
Direct on loan or just
between the two clubs?
Oh, right, okay. Shit.
I'm struggling here.
I'm struggling. It must be a loanee.
Not necessarily.
Oh, right, okay.
Not necessarily.
There's not been much. The last player to go from Falkirk to Celtic, I know.
I've got a player in my head, but I don't know if he ever actually played for Celtic. So
I'm out, Ross. So go ahead.
Okay, you've not got one. Colin, what are you going with?
I genuinely have no idea, so I'm just going to go Paddy Craig because we got him from Arsenal.
Yeah,
no, it's not him.
So the answer was Lee Griffiths.
Did he go from Falkirk to Celtic?
Celtic to
Falkirk.
Yep.
Was he not Dundee?
He was on loan from Celtic to Dundee, and he officially left Celtic.
Right, okay.
Yep. So still 0-0. Question number 2. Now you'll both get this one because we were so in love with him yesterday. But what shirt number does Connor Allan wear? John, have you written something down?
24.
You're saying 24. Colin?
I was saying 20.
One of you's got it bang on.
It's 20.
And it's Colin Barr. It's 1-0. 1-0 to Colin. Question number 3.
I was looking behind you there, John, to see if I could see it, but
I know.
I can't.
Question number 3 is now my patented Who Am I? Okay. So, this player...
What do you mean you're patented Who Am I? I started this and you've just copied it. That's patented stuff.
I know, I've just verbally patented it the other day. I don't remember you did it. So, this player started as a youth player at Celtic. He's had various loan spells at Falkirk, Partick Thistle, Dundee, and even over to Helsinki. However, he permanently left Celtic and he's now playing with Plymouth Argyle. So, this player started off at Celtic as a youngster, went on various loans to Falkirk, Partick Thistle, Dundee, and even over to Helsinki, and is now plying his trade with Plymouth Argyle. Who am I? Any thoughts?
Nope.
I just watched English Warwick highlights as well. I'm trying to think who plays for Plymouth.
Struggling, John, as well.
Aye, I'm struggling with this one. I do remember we had a centre half on loan from. I was a left back.
Oh, is it? Oh,
wait! Before you shout it out, Colin.
I'm going.
You're saying, John, you've not got an answer for this one, Colin?
Is it Connor Hazard?
Connor Hazard, indeed.
Hell, so it is.
Connor Hazard, indeed. He is the goalkeeper for Plymouth Argyle currently.
That was during that spell where we had a new goalkeeper every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So it was, we have quite a few that we had.
So what we're at 2-0. So John, you really need to hope that Colin struggles with the last couple of questions. So question number 4, and the closest to the official number will win the point here. How many current FSS members are there? So how many current FSS members are there? So John, you write something down.
I've written something down.
Colin, So, John, sorry, what have you... oh, no,
Oh, no,
sorry, Colin,
no,
what have you thinking?
1142.
1142. John McAnally?
1324.
One of you is 24 out, and it's John McAnally.
Well done.
1300 and that was taken from yesterday's programme. Well done, John. Well done.
Thank you. Oh, this is
2-1.
twice here. 2-1.
Here we go. Question number 5. Who wears shirt number 16 this season? Who wears shirt number 16?
Questions. See you in your
season?
shirt questions.
Oh, I'm such a geek with these. Who wears shirt number 16 this season?
No idea. And honestly, no idea. When the plan 20, Ethan Williams. I've just realised Ethan Williams is 24, isn't he? 16. Fucking who knows? Box.
Take a guess, John. Take a guess.
Box. I think Colin might.
Okay, have you got something written down?
No, I've not written anything down
Okay.
here. I'm going to go. It's not him. I'm going to go with it. I'm just going to stick this down. I don't think it's him, but I'll stick it down. Right, I've got something written down.
You've got something written down. Okay, Colin, come to you.
I'm struggling as well, so I'm thinking, is it Sam Hart?
You're thinking it's Sam Hart. It's
Henry
definitely not Sam Hart because he was
Cartwright.
42.
I've written down Henry Cartwright.
Henry Cartwright, you're very close, John. He's 17. 16 was Barney Stewart, currently out on loan at Dunfermline, as we know.
I see him patting the badge yesterday, Ross.
Yeah, I must
Stop
remember.
patting the badge yesterday. There you go.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've said this before, but the club's put him in an impossible situation. And,
Well,
yeah.
Badgie's scoring goals. That's all I'll say. He'll come back and score more. Anyway, it's beside the point. Well done.
Get the
Colin.
Champions League music on for Colin, though.
No.
Thank you very much. We'll be hearing that next season at the moment. We're in the fight for second, aren't we?
Brilliant. Listen, Colin, thanks so much for coming on Falkirk Daft. Really appreciate your time. And of course, you can hear Falkirk. You can hear Colin on the official Falkirk Football Club podcast and not this nonsense. But he did swear Falkirk, so just watch him. He's got a potty mouth, this boy.
I'm in control of the edit. I can do what I want.
Do what you want. Brilliant. Colin, thanks so much for joining us on Falkirk Daft.
Thanks for having me.
So thanks for Colin for coming on, being our guest pundit this week. And as we play Celtic on Wednesday, we thought we'd do a wee bonus preview this week. We'll have our full preview of the Kilmarnock game coming up on Thursday in the company of the club's mascot, Captain Conker. Looking forward to that. So that'll be on Thursday, previewing the Kilmarnock game. But let's now preview the Celtic game this coming Wednesday. And we're going to do that in the company. He's been on the podcast before. He's my best mate, apart from Ross, of course.
That's what you say.
He's my brother from another mother. It is my pal Craig McCaffery, aka Chippy.
Evening, lads. How you doing? Your weekend has been a little bit better than mine, right?
We're recording
So
this
far.
on a Sunday evening, Craig, and obviously you've probably just watched the game of Celtic versus Hearts at Tynecastle. 8 points the gap now between Celtic and Hearts. Could be 11 points come next week. Where are Celtic? Where are Celtic and what's going wrong at the club at the moment?
That is, I mean, how long you got? Listen, what I will say, I want to caveat this because it's dead easy as a Celtic fan to come on and moan about the club, and everyone outside the club goes, "Why are you moaning?" And ultimately, we're just a mess. I think from top to bottom, and I think that's where it starts. Like the club, there's just no harmony within the club, and you guys know that better than anyone, right? From Falkirk fans, you know that if you've got it right in the boardroom, that then filters down to the players in the park, and then that filters into the fans. And at the moment, Celtic are just fractured. Like the club is just unbelievably fractured. As a Celtic fan, I don't expect us to win every single trophy. Like it's never going to happen. We should never expect it. There should never be this thing that a treble is a given or a double is a given. Like to win the league's a great thing and it's a hard thing. So I never expect that. And there's a lot. And listen, loads of other fans are taking enjoyment from this, and quite right they should. Do you know what I mean? There should be. The Celtic and Rangers have had it their own way for such a long time. We can't moan when a team comes up, and like Hearts have done, and they've done really well under Tony Bloom and the investment there, and put in a challenge. We can't complain about that. But what I want from a Celtic supporter is that we're the best version of ourselves, and at the moment we are so far away from being the best version of ourselves. And what you're seeing is just years of mismanagement and just years of arrogance from the boardroom, just thinking, it doesn't matter. We'll just be better than the rest, and that'll be okay. Get a good manager in, that'll be okay. And you look at some of those players on the pitch, and they wouldn't get a game for a lot of other teams in the league. They're just not good enough.
You know, I saw the post-match interview with Brendan Rodgers earlier on, and is it just me, from an outside perspective, he looks as if he's chucked it?
Aye, fuck him.
He has, though, doesn't he? Like, that's the mannerisms he's given over. He's chucked it.
Aye, Ross, sorry, that's a bit hard. Like, fuck him, right? But I just... This is Brendan, season 3. It's what you get. His final season was dull as dishwater. And there's still decent players in that pitch, in that squad. And he is hamstrung, but there's undoubtedly he's hamstrung, but he can't keep going on about it. He can't keep... Some of the stuff he's coming away with is just absolute nonsense. He gets a...
It's all Honda Civics on the pitch, eh?
Listen, the Honda Civics are more reliable than some of the players we've got. He's just... Rodgers just comes out with this stuff, and you just... It's gobbledygook. It's like stuff out... You can imagine going on like Jake Humphrey's podcast and talking this stuff. It's just all cliched nonsense. And for me personally, I'd empty him this week. I'd get rid of him.
Well, hopefully Falkirk will be doing that. We've got rid of Russell Martin. Let's see if we can get rid of Rodgers on Wednesday night. That way, do the double. That'd be the Falkirk double.
But we'll not do it because nobody's got the stones to do it. Like, nobody within the board's got the stones to go and do it. Certainly not leading up to a Rangers game. I mean, that could be one of the worst games of football you're ever going to watch on Sunday in the Cup semi-final.
I think Rangers were okay today, Chippy. I've got bad news for you. I think they were all right today from what I heard.
Right, but did you see them in midweek? So the Rose had 2 games, right? And they've got a difficult game at Hibs midweek. Generally, both teams are a bit of a shambles at the moment. But again, there's no harmony within either club at the moment.
I mean, Falkirk have never had a better chance of winning the league, Chippy.
Listen, you were 4th yesterday, but he's now 6th. and also, incidentally, I think the last time I was on was just prior to the transfer window, right? And I kind of probably maybe wrote you off a little bit. You have been incredible. And this is what comparatively to Celtic, they never give up. How many games are you? That's the last 2 games. I think it's been late winners. There's a harmony amongst that team. Great goal yesterday by the boy. I mean, somebody should have tackled him, but the finish is exceptional. The run, it's a good run, but the finish into the bottom corners is incredible. So use are flying at the moment, and fair play, because there's a lot of those players I didn't think were anywhere near good enough. But to be sitting 6, you must be delighted, and you'll probably get to the international break in the top six. That's incredible, right?
Yeah, no, huge for the club. I mean, going into the Celtic game, obviously we've talked, there's been so much talk about John McGuinn working under Brendan Rodgers, and it's really interesting. I know you're really critical of the style of Celtic play at the moment, Chippy, the kind of the horseshoe of death, as you described it to me. What I found really interesting today was a quote from Brendan Rodgers that says, "Celtic is a club whose DNA is about playing football and will never lose that. Hearts are totally different. It's a different DNA here. The ball is direct. The supporters love that. It's a second ball fight, set pieces. Celtic hasn't become winners in that way." Now, I watched the Hearts game, and that's a different story from what I watched today. I have to say, I thought Hearts were very good and 100% obviously very worthy of their win.
It's just word soup. It doesn't mean anything, and it's just a bit of deflection. I seen that as well, and I was just like, what is he talking? And I get it, it's a post-match interview, but I'm like, what's he talking about? I mean, Christ almighty, I'm going to agree with Chris Boyd, but Celtic's, it's about winning.
Yeah.
Like I've said to you, and you didn't believe me in this, but generally, I think in the last 20 years, that Neil Lennon's first team, first side that he under, I loved watching that team. It was powerful. It
Chris
was quick,
Commons,
a little bit more direct.
Joe Edley, yeah.
Commons, Hooper, Wanyama, Ledley, like that's what you want. And in Scotland, you need to be physical. And we've got Rodgers has talked about it. I mean, every game he says, "Let's get a fast start." Every game we concede a goal and we don't start fast. but there's no physicality in that team. There was a stat that was put up, I think, early on in the game, and it was talking about the two Hearts centre-halves. Between them, Halkett and Finlay have scored 9 goals this season.
Mm-hmm.
Celtic centre-half should be lucky if we get that across 2 seasons. We just don't... Engels today, every free kick corner launched into nowhere. So, like, set pieces aren't even a threat. Throw-ins, do my head in. Takes us about 30 seconds to take a throw-in. So all those little things that you need to be quick at and have a chat, it's like, no, it's okay. We'll just keep doing our thing. Celtic don't have a style of football, and I think that style of the keep the ball, the possession, the control, it's dead. It doesn't exist anymore. Everyone's moved on from it.
That's the reason
Rodgers is trying to continue to play it.
That's the reason I kind of brought it up, because I think, Ross, and you can agree or disagree with that obviously Falkirk do play a possession style type of football, but we're a lot more direct with it. We're constantly looking to feed it out to our wingers. If it's not out on the wing, we'll go through the middle, but Celtic don't seem to have or play at the pace that Falkirk do, Ross. I mean, maybe I don't obviously see a lot of Celtic, but for my job, I actually do see quite a lot of Celtic, but I think Falkirk have not a similar style, because we don't kind of do that kind of horseshoe type thing, but obviously McGlynn's learned from Rodgers and believes in that kind of possession, but I do think we're a bit more direct with it, Ross.
I think we are, yeah. As you've said, I don't see a huge amount of Celtic games apart from the highlights, and I watched a chunk of the game today. It just doesn't look or feel like a Celtic team. So do you mean, like, in my head, like we talk about years ago, the Rangers team of the 90s, the Celtic team of the last 10 years, they had a swagger about them, a bit of confidence, a bit of this, like the players don't, opposition players are scared when they see the Celtic strip, and I don't think people are scared anymore. They have a go. And I think what we'll all see on Wednesday night, especially if the mood around Parkhead is maybe a bit fragile now. If Falkirk start fast, and we have a goal, I think
we've seen that's not happened this season.
Well, not in the first. Yeah, you're right. So the first half we've obviously really struggled at points, but I think if we've got a real opportunity to quieten, or sorry, maybe not quieten Celtic Park, but actually have the fans turn against the team and the manager.
Ross, I think you're right. I don't think it'll take much. I think the atmosphere is just going to be unbelievably toxic. There's just, like I say, there's no harmony. We want the board out, and there's the usual stuff you see from some mad hatters on social media. It's like, oh, the board have done what you wanted. They've made you turn against Brendan Rodgers. No, Brendan Rodgers has turned the fan, because the football there should still be enough to beat a Kairat Almaty, to beat a Dundee, to go to Hearts and compete. Like that shouldn't really. There's enough there for him to kind of get over with. But I completely understand. Like the level of player we've got is just. I just think they freeze. I just think there's a lot of players in there who just don't get it. Today I was watching the game and I'm going, right, where's the leadership? Out with Cal McGregor and Cam, and you could tell McGregor was raging with Devlin and tried, and brilliant, but there's nobody else. Like, see, when I'm going, like, who's going to smash into someone and give them a cat and like just a proper tackle, a bit of a leveler, and there's nobody in our team that's got that about them. And I keep saying it, in Scottish football, you need to have physicality and you need to be strong, and too many of our players just look unbelievably lightweight and just don't seem to be understand what we're doing. And the balance of the team is all wrong. Again, the front three today of 10-8K, who I'm not quite sure what he's doing, like 1 goal and no assists in the entire time he's been playing with. Negrin, he scored some goals, but he missed a sitter today. Has to burst the net. And then Johnny Kenny, Jesus Christ, like absolutely horrendous. But between them, the only shot they had on target was Benjamin Negrin's that the keeper saved. So the 3 front players had 1 shot on target across 90 minutes that started. That's appalling. And Celtic are there for the taking, and you're right. I don't think teams are scared of us. I think you can get after us really quickly. And listen, you've got a great chance, because we are like, if there's some of those guys. You look at the team. Sorry, I'm kind of going on, but like a Dane Murray was at Queen's Park, was linked with you in the summer.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Use right. he wouldn't get a game he is at the moment. I know he's struggling for centre halves, but he probably wouldn't get a game.
You go, our centre half scored yesterday. I don't think he's going to get a game.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so there's a lot of those guys that just aren't good enough. Johnny Kenny would never was fifth choice. There's so many players that are just aren't good enough, and injuries have ended that as well. But
yeah, I have to say with your injury list, obviously Ian Atcho's out, Vickers is out, Johnson's out, Maeda's not firing. I mean, we played you in the League Cup in August and obviously got turned over at 4-1 at Celtic Park, but. Like, I looked down and I looked who was playing against Hearts to say, when you mentioned Dane Murray, who we played against Queen's Park, I thought he was a decent defender at that level, but in the Premiership it's a whole different game. You know, you've got Johnny Kenny up front, you've got the young boy Donovan at right back as well, and you're just thinking, we can get it. It's a game, you always go to Celtic Park going, listen, we'll it's just, we'll write it off if we get something out of there. Great, but there's very little chance. I actually, with 7 points out of 9, Ross, going into this game, I don't think we've had a better chance of getting something at Celtic Park than we do this Wednesday.
No, I agree. I think I made a bit.
We can play in the first half, or we can start playing in the first half. Yeah.
Even if
we don't score in the first half. That's
good news. That's great news for us. Thank you.
That's the first goal in 14 games that we've scored within the first 25 minutes. We've scored 12 goals all season.
I tell you one thing: if it's close, as in 0-0 or 1-0 at half time, I think Falkirk's got a real opportunity on Wednesday night. I made a bit of a bold statement yesterday, Chippy, before I knew Celtic were even losing today. And I said to John, I think, because we're talking about our 3 home games that we've got plus the Celtic game, I actually think we'll be unbeaten through the 4 games that I circled. And I have that confidence, not just about Falkirk, but I think from that outside position again, looking at Celtic just now, it just looks a bit all over the place. And it's not just you. You see it on social media. You hear it at the games. The atmosphere at the Dundee game looked really toxic as well. Now, let's not forget, Dundee are shite. Like, I cannot believe a Celtic team, like, Dundee are bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, they just got turned over for Aberdeen, who are shite as well. And I just think this is not a Celtic team that the fans or the teams that they're up against look to be fearful of. And I agree. I think Falkirk go there with a little bit of confidence. It's massive underdogs still, but we go there with a little bit of confidence that you never know what might happen on Wednesday night.
I agree. Generally, Celtic don't create chances. Like, we're not creating any chances of any note. We went from Nygren's chance in the 38th minute, and it took us 40 minutes to then have another shot on target. Like, that is wild. Like, generally, it's we are let's say, and a lot of that comes down to like the manager, and it's just the way that we're trying to play the game. It's still that ball retention, but ultimately, there's players in the park that need to take much more responsibility than what they're doing. Engels, I thought, was great on Thursday, and then today was just anonymous. Rio Hatate, good. I mean, I don't think he'd done anything positive, and that's the problem. It's just the team looked paralysed. Now, I don't know if they've chucked it for the manager and some of the stuff that he's been saying, and they've just went, nah, to hell with this. But something needs to change. And I mean, Ange had a similar start when he came in and took over, but you could at least see what he was trying to do, and they were slightly better. But the team wasn't brilliant. He had signed some players, given that, and they were better quality than what we had now. But it was still a bit of a struggle. But I just don't understand what we're trying to do, and I think there's a real anger around the whole fan base at the moment. And yeah, I think Wednesday night's attendance will be probably quite low as well. I think there'll be a lot of people who just go, do you know what, I'm not going to that. There's just a real, and let's say, you need for your club to be working well and being from the top of the tree down to the fans, and we're miles away from that. And I don't know if the board have got the stones to sack Brendan Rodgers, because ultimately he's a get out of jail free card, because he's the one that sits and fronts up every single week, because they then don't need to talk to. I do have confidence, as much as we've mucked things around. If you were at sacking, we probably got a decent manager, because we seem to end up going for quite good managers, and they want someone that can speak and do it so they don't have to. but I don't think it will happen. I think if we get beat of Rangers next week, then that might happen. But I also think the question would be that if we were 8 points behind Rangers at this moment in time and not Hearts,
Rangers, sorry.
Would Rodgers be sacked? And I think the answer would probably, he would be.
Yeah, it's actually a fair point. It is a fair point because everyone's still thinking, Hearts going to fall away. I think that's the hope from Celtic supporters that it's just a flash in the pan. We saw Aberdeen last season, but then you look at that Hearts side and the way they basically bossed you. And I said I think Hearts have got the best midfield in Scottish football. We obviously went to Tynecastle, go absolutely bumped. I'm glad to see you or see goals at Tynecastle as well. But when you look at that midfield, and especially from middle to front, when you look at Devlin and Bairnebau, players that you're talking about that have that grit and a bit of physicality and put themselves about in midfield. Celtic, apart from McGregor aside, don't have that. And like you say, you need that physicality. The one thing I would say from Falkirk is we don't really have that physicality in midfield, really, because when you look at Spencer and Tate Ross, they're ball players, they're midfielders, so we don't have that physicality. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of midfield battle, because I think that's where the game will be won and lost on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think I know we spoke about it earlier when we were reviewing yesterday, but I do wonder if we will have the same starting 11.
It'd be Henry Cartwright. I mean, you look at physicality. If McGlynn looks, if he's going to take advantage of that physicality, Henry Cartwright is the most physical player we've got, and he's that massive arse of his. So you could possibly see Cartwright maybe coming into midfield, but then does Tate had a great second half yesterday? We know Brad's our talisman, so what do you do there?
I know it is. I do think there will be changes though. I think John McGlynn recognises. I think he said it after what game was it? We had the Hibs game we had midweek. He's not he doesn't think we have the legs or the squad for the same starting 11 3 times in 7 days. So I do think there will be some changes there. Celtic might have some changes as well. They've obviously got.
I would assume there will be changes for Celtic.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
But who? This is the question, Mark. I guess. Do you know what I would start, Ross? I would start Brian Graham. And I know give him 50 minutes because Brian Graham, if you put him up against a Dane Murray, a Liam Scales, he is going to cause. Do you know what he's like? You know what you get with Brian Graham, and he will cause all sorts of problems in terms of putting himself about and just being that experienced pro that he is. I do think I might actually start with Brian Graham, and as you say, maybe Henry Cartwright comes in for that physicality in midfield.
Yeah, very possibly. Yep.
Who's going to line up for Celtic though, Chippy? I mean, that's the big question.
I don't know, because there was a terrible article in the Daily Record last week, shock horror, but talking about like how players get better when they're not in the squad, sort of Bobo Balde effect, when he's not playing, everyone wants him to play, and there's a bit like that happening, like where's Paulo Bernardo, but Paulo Bernardo's no kicked a ball really. Like, these guys aren't very good, so I don't know. I think if Falkirk learn anything, I think what you do is you shut down. If you can have a way, you shut down Callum McGregor, you stop Celtic playing. And ultimately, that's what's happened for a lot of teams. And McGregor's taking a lot of stick this year. It really annoys me. Like, he's a one-man midfield because everyone else around him isn't doing the jobs that they need. You can see him trying to tell people where to be. Again, Dane Murray, McGregor's telling him he takes so many touches in the ball, and McGregor's going to move forward, and it's backwards. So I think what you do is you stop McGregor playing, and that's potentially where you get a result. So it's going to be an interesting one, but who knows? Something needs to change dramatically at Celtic, and I'm not sure any party has got the stones to make that decision. So it's going to be an interesting one on Wednesday.
Well, we'll all be watching it together because we managed to blag into hospitality, the three of us together, and one of my mates from work. So looking forward to undercovering the Celtic end, Ross, sitting on our hands. When Falkirk have rattled 4 past them.
Yeah,
and everyone's because we'll be up beside the boat. We'll be in the kind of same vicinity as the board. We better keep our heads down.
I mean, I'll need to camp. Like, yeah, it's.
You watch yourself. Me and Ross will sack the boats. But I know, God, that should be interesting. Right, predictions.
I was going to ask you. Sorry, I know it's your show, but I was going to ask you a question. How have you found life in the Premier League then so far? How's it been?
It's had its moments of difficulty. Like John mentions, Hearts at Tynecastle was a sobering. Like they gave us the runaround. However, with the exception of that game, we've competed not for 90 minutes in any game. It's been 45, 60 minutes in games. But actually, I it's not been as bad as I sort of feared in July, thinking like, are we going to get pumped a lot of the time? But we've held our own, and I would just like to see us do that for a bit longer in games. But I think that'll come with a bit of experience, a bit of knowing the league. We now know what we face. We've only got Kilmarnock left to face. I know we played Celtic in the cup, so that's kind of why I've got that as we've played you already. But I think we've seen every team now, and I think, do you know what? There's nothing to fear. Just go and play your game, and we've seen we can score goals. It's just keeping it tighter at the back for me anyway.
I think it's the pace at this level. It's we've not been used to it, but we're starting to become accustomed to it. And I do think, obviously, when we faced you back in August, we didn't have the reinforcements that we do now with the likes of Lisa, Wilson, Williams all coming into the side, and they've made a big difference. Henry Cartwright, these guys coming in, and effectively becoming starting. Wilson and Williams are start first team players now. And at Lisa looks like he'll start Wednesday as well. I think they've made a huge difference in terms of what they brought to the side, and just in terms of reinforcements, because everyone before the season was like, when you look, like a lot of these boys were playing League One 2 seasons ago, and some of them, that start, and in fact you look at Ross McKeever, Liam Henderson, they were League One starters. Dylan Tate, Brad Spencer, Calvin Miller. These boys were all playing in League One 2 seasons ago, and they've really, a couple of them need to step up a bit more, but we're getting there. We're getting there with it. So, like you say, the physicality certainly coming against. You see some of the size of the boys coming off the bench. That boy for Dundee that came on the bench yesterday was like St Mirren or just landed the Giants. Dundee United, very much the same. There's a lot of big physical teams. Celtic are probably, in terms of the build of the team, are very similar to what we have, because we don't have that St Mirren, everyone's over 6 foot, that, Livingston, we are a very similar build of, and because McGlynn likes the possession football, so we don't have the big brutes. But that's been, that I've noticed is the big difference, just the physicality of it. But we've dealt with it. We didn't deal with it as well as we did in St Mirren, the Livingston game. But I think we're learning. I do think we're learning from our mistakes and learn how to play around it. So it has been a kind of wake up, I think.
It's been good. I think it's been interesting, right? Because I think you initially got the sort of pat in the head stuff, which is really condescending to start with. But I think a lot of people are now going, right, okay, actually, this is pretty good. Like, even, I know it's daft, but you even had like the Observer journalists at the Falkirk game yesterday, which is just like mad. Like, I imagine that'll probably get mentioned on the Liberal podcast like this week. But and I think like even the atmosphere, I think that's been the big thing that a lot of people have said, right, in terms of just bringing, like, going to the Falkirk Stadium. It's only 3 sides, but do you know what I mean? Like, there's still an energy and atmosphere that's coming for that, and people getting a bit pissed off about, we're only getting X amount of tickets, but that's nobody else's problem. That's what it is, right? And I think long may that continue for us. Right? I think it's great, and your AGM results look pretty good. I think you still need a bit of an injection of cash still to come in, but it feels like I say, it feels like there's a good vibe about Falkirk at the moment.
We're together as one, Craig.
Together as one. We're together as one. Yeah, I know. And by the way, just to mention that, Rory Smith from the Monday Night Club on Radio 5 Live was at the game yesterday randomly as well, which I was like, oh, shit. Well, I'm guessing he writes for The Observer, doesn't he?
Yeah, he writes for The Observer, so he was at the Celtic game today, obviously, but he obviously took in the next biggest game in Scotland yesterday, so picked up yourselves.
I know, and saw the reincarnation of Cafu in the making there at Falkirk Stadium. Ross, what's the score going to be on Wednesday?
I'm going to go the same result we've had the last 2 weeks. I'm going to say 2-1 Falkirk.
I love it. Craig, what are you thinking?
1 each.
1 each. I'm going to go for a 1 each. Wow! By the way, that's from a Celtic supporter. I'm going to take a draw as well. A score draw, and I do think it's really important if we can get like a reaction, if we can get an early goal. And I know it's been hard to come by in the first half for Falkirk, but if we can get on it and get at Celtic, I think we can turn the crowd and hopefully. Do
you know what? We might not even need an early goal, John. I think, see, if we can keep it tight up to half time, we've shown that we are a very important second half team. So if it's 0-0 or a draw or there's only.
Well, as you said earlier, if we're getting beat 4-0, we'll still be going out at half time. That's all right. You've got a second half to go.
Yeah, 5-4.
5-4. Exactly. Brilliant. Well, listen,
we're not scoring 4 goals, I tell you.
I think actually Falkirk have scored more goals in the league than Celtic have this season.
I saw that. Yeah,
we're on. I think Hearts are on +15. We're on +4.
Jesus Christ, that's mental. Brilliant. Well, listen, Chippy, before we let you go, we're going to give you the chance to go at it again on how well do you know your team, because you were shocking the last time you were on. I just looked at the score. You got 4, but the good news is you're a point above Stephen Purden, who's representing Rangers, so you're ahead of Rangers, but you're still a way to go on the old leaderboard. But we're going to give you the chance to play again. Ross has the questions, I have the timer, 60 seconds on the clock. Get as many questions as you possibly can, and then we'll see where you end up. All right, you up for it?
Aye, that's so God. This is right, okay. Again.
Okay, if you look at beat Hearts, you've got 6 points. You and Cameron got 6 points. Believe it or not, I couldn't quite believe it. You managed to get 6 points.
You were kind of generous. I listened to that. You were fairly generous with some of the timings of some of those answers.
I know. Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you 60 seconds. Ross has got your questions. You ready to go, Ross?
I am indeed ready to go.
Craig McCaffery, your time starts now.
The last player to sign for Falkirk from Celtic.
Pass.
The capacity of Celtic Park to the nearest 100.
56. No, sorry. 60,000.
Okay. And what year was Celtic founded?
1888.
Who were Celtic's first shirt sponsor?
C.R. Smith.
Who were Celtic's first official kit manufacturer in the 1980s?
Umbro.
How many Scottish Cups have Celtic won?
44.
Okay. And what season did Celtic get to the UEFA Cup final last?
2002.
Okay. And what season did Falkirk? What season did Celtic first win a treble?
1969, I think. 67.
Okay. Who wears number 14 jersey for Celtic? I've started, so I'll finish that one. Who wears number 14 jersey for Celtic this season?
Luke McCowan.
Okay, let's go through the answers then. So the last player to sign for Falkirk from Celtic was actually Lee Griffiths.
Oh, yeah, we tried.
I caveated that one. It was actually Scott Bain. It was Scott Bain was the most recent one, but prior to Scott, it was Lee Griffiths. So you didn't get it right anyway. No. Capacity of Celtic Park to the nearest 100, I'll give you that one. So 60,000, yeah, it's just over. So that's one. And what year was Celtic founded? 1888, so that's 2. Who are Celtic's first shirt sponsors? Spot on with C.R. Smith from memory. I think Rangers had the same sponsor.
Yeah, they did.
So that was 3. Who were Celtic's first official kit supplier in the 80s? You were right, it was Umbro. So that's 4. How many Scottish Cups have Celtic won? You said 44, it was 42. And what season did Celtic get to the UEFA Cup final? 2002. 03, yep, so you got that one. And what season did Celtic first win a treble? It was actually 66-67, not 69. You were so close. And then last but not least, who wears number 14? You correctly said Luke McGowan. So you did hit 6, Chippy.
Well done, you're level with Hearts. There you go. Aberdeen.
Only that was true in the current table.
There you go. Aberdeen still top of the tree though, with Chippy on 8 points. So well done, Chippy. You're up the league. And fingers crossed, well, not fingers crossed that your team do the same thing, but I will see what happens Wednesday. And as ever, thank you very much for joining us in Falkirk Daft.
No problem. Look for a few pints on Wednesday, boys.
Thanks, mate.
So thanks for Chippy for coming on, getting up the league there, Ross. And that is it for this week's Falkirk Daft. What a huge episode, a bumper
massive episode this week.
For our 150th episode as well. Before we go, we've got to thank our sponsors who have been there from very much near the beginning of the podcast, and that's Falkirk Football Fans in Training. They've been on the go for 10 years. Imagine if we could last 10 years, Ross. That'd be incredible scenes. But remember, if you want to get involved with Falkirk Football Fans Training and the T8s, they're down at the stadium every Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30. They've got 3 different levels, plus the over 50s section as well. Get down there, help your mental health. Get, as I always say, great bunch of lads. You'll make pals, and they've got hopefully an inaugural Kelpies tournament coming up at the end of the season. We'll wait and see what happens with that. But if you're basically you're looking to get a bit of fitness back in your life, you're missing playing football. Can't get a game of football these days because you know what it's like. See, you try to arrange 5s or 7s or whatever, and people drop out and the game gets cancelled. This game's on every week. 8:30 to 9:30 at the stadium. Get down there, get in touch with Ian, Willie or Dougie. The link is below. Thank you very much again to the Falkirk Football Fans in Training. And that is it for the 150th episode of Falkirk Daft. What a way to celebrate with one of the best goals ever scored at the stadium. Well done again, Connor Allan. Outstanding stuff. We'll all be watching that in compilations. You know, we're going to have to put it on. We're going to have to change the intro to the podcast now and put that in. Especially now, so well done, Connor, and a great win, 7 points out of 9, and we roll into Celtic Park next. Here we go. Let's make it 10 points from 12. That'd be amazing.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
We'll wait and see. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you can on YouTube if you're watching us, or rate and review us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. You can follow us on the handle at Falkirk Daft on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Remember, get your entries in for the F Factor and all the questions that I've answered that are to be answered on this show. What's your favourite moment at Behind the Wall? What is the best goal ever scored at the Falkirk Stadium? And finally, what player would you have from the past to set in to the current Falkirk team that is not Latape, Stainrod or Ken McAllister? Interesting the answers in that. Get right in the comments below, everyone. Do that. That would be fantastic. Remember, merch.falkirkdaft.co.uk if you want Falkirk Daft merch. Lots to talk about. Hopefully we're talking about a Falkirk win come next weekend. But remember, we're out on Thursday. Captain Conker, the Kilmarnock mascot, will be previewing. I don't know, I really, really hope he comes in the full mascot. That would be phenomenal.
That would be phenomenal. It'd be like the Masked Singer.
The Masked Singer. And he talks in a squirrel accent. That would be the best Falkirk Daft episode ever. But we'll be back on Thursday to preview the Kilmarnock game with hopefully 3 points in the bag as well, Ross. But until that time, on to Celtic Park. And what do we always say?
For the 150th time, expect the unexpected.
Thank you for listening.
We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft, talking about the dark blues and having a bit of a laugh. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. You can listen in the pub or you can listen in the bath. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. For everyone who's caring about being a Falkirk Bairn, we're Falkirk Daft. We are Falkirk Daft.